Hello, my name is Tim. My company is Sports and Touring. We are Jaguar F-Type specialists, and it is a real privilege to show you this car. It's a car with a unique aesthetic. I have never seen a Jaguar configured quite the way that this one is, and I think it makes a brilliant looking F-Type. Let's take a look around. The Jaguar F-Type is a stunningly good looking car. It has graceful curves and impressive angles. It has wide haunches, but delicate lines. It is a design masterpiece, I dare say. I love looking at the F-Type from all angles. And something that has struck me very firmly since I first saw an F-Type back in 2013 is how the paint finish and the options on a particular example can completely dictate its aesthetic. A black car with black pack on black wheels is a completely different proposition to a car in fire sand orange on silver wheels with chrome pack, for example. And as we have retailed many F-Types, we've got used to the particular looks which people tend to order from the factory. You know, for example, white with black pack or the various reds with chrome. And then once in a while, a car comes along and really strikes us. A car which clearly has been specified from new with a very particular aesthetic purpose in mind, and which has fulfilled that purpose completely. And here is the epitome of that. I have never seen an F-Type quite like this. A stunning combination of bright rhodium silver, quite a rare colour on an F-Type, and rare perhaps because it doesn't always look brilliant. But put it with sport design pack, with black pack, so we have the punctuation of the side skirts at the bottom of the body, and a two-tone aesthetic around the car, punctuated by the red brake calipers hiding behind those gorgeous 20-inch cyclone wheels, and then add the fixed rear spoiler, and you have the most eye-catching thing on the road. As I've been driving this car, the number of heads that swivel at the traffic lights or at a junction is really quite impressive. There are a couple of other touches too. The black tailpipe tips, for example, which sit with that beautiful black splitter on the rear of the car. And another little accent, and this has clearly been done as a bespoke thing for this example, the little erosion panel there in front of the rear wheel has also been finished in black, as have the door handles. And the brilliant thing is that none of this is in any sense too much. Occasionally there's an expression in the motor trade, we look at a car and say that's been magnetised and driven through Halfords. And that's an expression which applies to those cars which have had too many things done to them inexpertly. Here, though, we're dealing with a car which has been conceived by someone who really knows what they're doing. And then we look at the particular example, and it is in exquisite condition. It's a pretty low mileage car. The paintwork is truly fabulous. This beautiful rhodium silver colour, which is deep and luxuriant in its glossy finish. And all round the car, almost no signs whatsoever. I would struggle to find anything around this car that identifies its age or its mileage. It has clearly been kept very expertly. It hasn't seen a mechanical car wash. It has been carefully valeted and detailed, and that has maintained its sensational appearance. Let's take a look inside. The car's supplied, of course, with 2 remote key fobs, and A simple press of the button reveals the door handle and unlocks the car, and we can take a look at the interior. And it really is, again, most impressive. The door card is unblemished. It is in factory condition. The scuff plate or sill here, again, is unmarked. The seat is as it left the factory. We would often expect to see a bit of wear here on the side bolster and on the side of the seat squab. There is none. And then sitting down into the F-Type is to immerse yourself in technology and beauty, I dare say. The beautiful curves in this cockpit, together with the fabulous switchgear and the very, very good ergonomic design, make it not only a great place to sit and be comfortable, but a place to admire as well. I find if I'm stuck in traffic in an F-Type, I'll just look at another little bit of detail in the cockpit and enjoy it for a few moments. We can close the door and fire up the V6, which of course is on the push button here. There's the little flying display from the instrument panel, and then up comes the centre vent for the air conditioning. And looking around, we have, of course, a handy stowage between the two headrests there. We've got the armrest with a little cubby hole and access to the infotainment system through a USB and auxiliary socket. We've got a 12-volt socket there as well. Two cup holders. And by the way, the little space in the middle there is ideal for one of those small cans that you see nowadays. On the centre console, we don't have a rear spoiler button, of course, because the fixed aerodynamic spoiler is fitted to this particular car, but we do have the switchable active sports exhaust. We've got this beautiful shift stick, possibly my favourite design feature of an F-Type. It's functional, it's elegant, it fits so well with the whole aesthetic of the Jaguar F-Type. To operate it, there's a little trigger on the front, like so. Pull the trigger, pull it back, it puts you into drive, across into sport, then you can shift up and down with the stick like so. And of course you've got flappy paddles on the steering wheel as well, which give you instant access to gear changes when you're driving. That's the gearbox with its two modes, drive and sport, and then here we've got the driving mode selector, which takes us from the normal setting into dynamic mode, and as we do that the instrument panel turns red and we get a message that says dynamic mode confirmed. And we can exit dynamic mode back into normal mode and then into ice, rain and snow if we need to, if conditions dictate. Back to the centre console, this car has dual zone climate control, so you and your passenger can select your own temperatures. And we've got the infotainment system very fully featured. The home screen here takes you to each of the different functions. If we go into the audio side, for example, we can select the source, whether it's DAB or FM or AM radio, auxiliary, or if I had connected my Bluetooth phone, we'd have Bluetooth audio there as well. On the climate screen, we can synchronize the two temperatures and adjust the vents as well. And in the settings, we can adjust whether we want to see the center console vent out all the time or only when the system decides that it needs it. Back over here, we've got another means of accessing the audio commands, and then there we are in the DAB receiver. We've got the whole range of DAB stations to listen to. We have Bluetooth telephony, of course. Again, no phone connected just at the moment, that's fully featured. And satellite navigation, which is on this lovely big 8-inch screen. It's very functional, it's very easy to follow, and useful, of course, on a long journey. Over on the steering wheel, we've got controls here for the infotainment and Bluetooth audio. Behind there, we've got the automatic headlamps. And over on the right, we've got the cruise control and speed limiter as well, handy in the roadworks on the motorway, and the rain-sensitive wipers, of course. And there, that beautiful instrument binnacle, those two very clear dials, speed and RPM, and in the middle a multifunction display which allows you to access the trip computer and display settings and vehicle settings and so forth. A beautiful place to sit, and that's before you engage drive or sport and set off and experience the thrill of being behind the wheel of an F-Type. It is the most exotic and heady pleasure. The combination of performance and handling and grip is really inspiring. And when you put those things together, what you have is a machine that connects you to the road and your journey in the most exquisite way. I'm sorry if I'm going on about how brilliant the F-Type is, but it really is an astonishingly good sports car, and at its kind of price range, pretty well untouchable. There is nothing else which will deliver the same amount of pleasure at the same kind of budget. One thing I should have mentioned, by the way, that this car has, very desirable, the full fixed panoramic roof with the sun blind, so if it gets a little too hot on a sunny day, you can easily shade yourself there. Let's take a look in the boot. This car looks so great from behind, doesn't it, with that big fixed aerodynamic spoiler. And under that, of course, the tailgate. So we unlock either from a button in the cockpit or the remote key fob. And there you are, over 300 litres of space. It's a little dark in there, so it's difficult to see, but the boot extends either side behind the rear wheel arch, meaning you can take golf clubs or fishing rods or other long things with you. And then under that removable piece of floor, there is a very handy stowage cubby hole as well. Maybe you can keep your various motoring things in there. All in all, a very sizable space, albeit a slightly awkward shape. And for that reason, you'll need to pack soft bags if you're off holidaying in your F-Type rather than hard-sided suitcases. But you really can get more than enough in there for an extended time away touring in one of these cars. As coupes go, that is a tremendous amount of boot space. And again, look at the condition. It is beautiful. There haven't been any spills in there. There's no dirt. There are no marks. It's been kept as well as the rest of the car has been kept, which is extremely well indeed. Coming to the passenger side of the car, and two-stage unlocking, by the way. So the first blip of the key fob just unlocks the driver's door, and for your safety you have to blip it again to unlock the passenger door. There we are, the handle comes out. And again, everything is most impressive. The door card is perfect. The dashboard is as it was when it was installed in the car. The carpet and mat, and these beautiful seats, which, by the way, are heated as well. They're heated Alcantara and leather seats, very comfortable in summer and winter. It's all in fabulous order. Here we are under the bonnet, and Jaguar's supercharged V6 power plant producing 340 horsepower. That is enough to propel this car from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds through the 8-speed automatic gearbox and on to a top speed which is artificially limited at 161 miles per hour. A heady set of performance figures, but if you're worried about the cost of motoring these days, and many of us are, then it's reassuring to know that the Jaguar figures for this car include an extra urban figure of 43.5 miles per gallon and a combined figure of 33.6. So if you drive with a light right foot, you can go a long way between fill-ups in an F-Type V6. And looking again at the condition here under the bonnet, and it is fabulous. Very often on cars which haven't been correctly cleaned, there's an accumulation of grub in here, and this one clearly has been correctly cleaned. And everywhere is in truly sensational order. It's such a pleasure when we find a car as good as this to bring into stock, and its service history, by the way, is extensive. Jaguar main dealer service history. It's running, by the way, perfectly. It's passed our inspections without any hesitation, and it drives just superbly. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been a real pleasure to show you around this beautiful coupe. We're Sports and Touring, we're F-Type specialists, we're just outside Andover in Hampshire. We're open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to email us, telephone or WhatsApp if you've got any inquiries, or if you'd like to see this car either in person or by video call. If you've got a car you need to dispose of, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to do that, how to achieve the maximum value at the minimum inconvenience, whether it's by part exchange, selling privately or what have you. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. I hope you'll take a few moments to read our reviews on Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the way that our previous customers speak about us, and I will hope to hear from you very soon.